Hey there and welcome. Today we are diving deep into how to build disciplined consistency. That engine that turns your biggest goals into something you can actually count on. So, let's get right into it. So, this quote right here, it's pretty much the core of everything we're talking about. Think of it like this. Discipline. That's the spark. It's that initial jolt of energy that gets you off the couch. But consistency? That's the fuel. That's what keeps the engine humming along, day in and day out, building momentum that's pretty much unstoppable. All right, here's a quick look at our game plan. We'll start by breaking down discipline versus consistency. Then we'll get practical and set you up for success. Talk about how to win that daily battle, and then shift to the long game. And it all leads to this awesome place we're calling the effortless outcome. Okay, let's kick things off by getting really clear on these two concepts. You can think of them as two parts of the same engine, and you absolutely need both of them to get where you're going. So discipline is like the big, flashy rocket launch. It's that huge burst of energy, that powerful decision to act. It's really just saying yes one time. But consistency, that's the long, quiet journey through space that comes after. It's taking one small step after another, day after day, especially when all that initial excitement is long gone. The real secret? You've got to master both. All right, so now let's get into the how. We're going to build your framework for success. And this part is all about prep work. I'm talking about setting up your life so that doing the right thing is actually the easiest thing to do. We're going to lay this foundation in just 3 steps. First, we'll make our goals tiny and crystal clear, so there's no confusion. Second, we're going to create some non-negotiables to get rid of that constant debating in your head. And third, we're building systems, because let's be honest, willpower comes and goes. Just look at the difference here. I'll work out more. What does that even mean? It's so vague, it's basically an invitation to put it off. But I'll exercise for 10 minutes every morning. That's a command. Your brain knows exactly what to do. It's so small you can't really argue with it. And boom, no more excuses. The whole point of this step is to stop the internal debate before it even starts. Just pick 2 or 3 things you'll do every day and treat them like an unbreakable appointment. I mean, you wouldn't wake up and debate whether or not to show up for a huge meeting, right? You just go. It's the same idea here. We're talking pure execution, no negotiating allowed. Okay, this is a really, really important one. Willpower is like your phone battery. It starts full in the morning and just drains all day. It's totally unreliable. But systems are like the charger you plugged in overnight. They're the permanent setup you create. A perfect example is just laying out your gym clothes the night before. That's a system. It removes the friction, so even when your willpower is on empty, it's still easy to just go. Okay, so our framework is built. Now it's time to step into the ring. This is the daily battle. This is where all that planning meets the real world and where consistent action starts to build real, tangible progress. Look, anybody can be motivated when they feel great. That's easy. But real, true discipline, that gets forged on the tough days. You know, that cold, rainy morning when you would rather do literally anything else. But here's the thing. Every single time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're casting a vote for the person you're trying to become. This is where we get to hack our own brains a little bit. Go get a simple calendar, like a paper one, and put a big X on every day you do your thing. Seriously. That visual chain of X's, it becomes this powerful motivator. You get to day 10, day 20, and you will do anything not to break that chain. It turns the whole thing into this addictive, fun game you play against yourself. Okay, let's pull back for a second and look at the bigger picture. The daily actions are absolutely crucial, don't get me wrong, but they need to be backed up by a real shift in your mindset. This is about changing who you are, not just changing what you do. So, I want you to actually pause and think about this for a second. That habit you're trying to build? What's the voice in your head actually saying about it? Is your self-talk helping you out, or is it secretly tearing you down? And this, right here, is the shift you have to make. Saying, I'm trying to be disciplined, leaves the door open for failure. But when you say, I am disciplined, that's a statement of fact. You start telling yourself, I am a person who exercises, or I am a writer. And suddenly your actions just start to fall in line with that identity. You're no longer forcing it, you're just doing what a person like you does. You know, a huge part of this long game is just being resilient. Perfection is not the goal. It's impossible. Life is going to happen. So the real key isn't to never miss a day. The key is to bounce back unbelievably fast when you do. Think of it this way. Missing one day is an accident. But missing 2 days in a row, that's the start of a whole new bad habit. And that brings us to the single most important rule of all: never miss twice. That's it. It's so simple, so actionable, and it's the ultimate safety net for your consistency. So you had a bad day, you missed your workout. Fine, it happens. The only rule is you get back on track tomorrow. Period. So, after all this work, what's the end result? Well, it leads to that outcome that everyone else looks at and calls effortless. But you'll know the secret. You'll know about the framework that made it all possible. This really sums up the whole journey, doesn't it? It all begins with something small. You build on that with steady systems that don't need willpower. You create real momentum by showing up even when you don't want to. And finally, you learn to love that quiet, boring consistency. That is the real secret behind results that look effortless to everyone else. When you follow this path, discipline starts to feel, well, natural, and your results start to look effortless. And since we know it all starts with just one tiny, clear action, there's really only one question left for you to answer. What's the first thing you're going to master?